Welcome to another episode of Elementary. You get to see me twice this evening. Sorry about the earlier technical issues that we were having. But we are ready to roll, yes. Better late than never. And I'm so excited to interview my guest. You've seen her before. She's been on. I am so excited to do this interview, especially in light of, hey, Natalie.
Hi,
Yeah, so
how
I'm
are you?
excited to have you. I'm
Thank
good.
you.
In light of, all that's going on in the in our world of, homes and mortgages. Um, so thank you again for coming back. I know this is take
It's
two.
been
We
a
were having
while.
some technical
Yeah.
difficulties, but here we go.
Oh,
So
you are. But you're back home. Okay.
yeah, I got back. Um, I was bouncing around in my car, but I got back. So let's, get started. Tell everyone your
Sure.
Instagram handle and your name, all that fun
Yeah,
stuff.
of
Hmm.
course. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Natalie Vieira, and I'm a FSRA licensed mortgage agent. What that means is that I'm licensed by the Financial Services Authority of Ontario. It's a mouthful, so we just say FSRA. Which that means that we do regular annual examinations, and then we're also part of Membership Professionals Canada, Mortgage Professionals Canada, which is an organization that also has an education piece for us mortgage agents and brokers. My particular office is located at 3084 Bloor Street West, and it's called DLC because Dominion Lending Centers for short, DLC Mortgage Connection. And we moved actually pretty recently, about 2 months ago. So come and check us out. I mostly work from home, but if you want to pop by, I will definitely be there. It's a cute little office. It's not too big, but it's right at the corner of Montgomery and Bloor Street West, which is one block west of Royal York Road. So come and see us. We'd love to see you.
Yes,
And
you
my
moved. You were down the
Instagram,
street from me before.
where were you before?
No, like you were down the street on Dufferin, not far, right?
Our old office or your
Yeah, weren't
office?
you? Yeah. Weren't you close
My
to
old
my
office was at Dundas, was a little bit
Dundas?
further west.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So we're more east.
Cool. Very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. So,
Yeah. So my handles are the same for all platforms. Mortgages Vera, Mortgages Vieira. And then for LinkedIn is that's just my first and last name.
awesome. So awesome. So what inspired you to become a mortgage broker?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, So really, it always goes back to your own experience. Starting young, my parents were actually like, you know, they bought their first home and then they just became kind of really real estate investors by just buying either a second or a third property here in Canada as well as back home in Portugal. So just being just all different aspects of how to build a home. Um, and then later on, I also started working through my own real estate transactions. Just started really just observing, like taking good things away from that experience, and also kind of look out for the things that I would change or would do differently. Um, to make it better. And so along the years, I've been gathering information, and one day I spoke to a mortgage broker, and um, I liked her style, and we became friends. And she said, I like your demeanor, and you seem to know a lot about mortgages. You should do this. So, somebody believed in me, and I thought, wow, okay, I think I can do this.
Awesome. Always, always amazing when you do
Yeah, so it's a
what you love.
small business owned. It's mostly like referrals, but I've had some internet searches that just called me and said, I like your vibe. So that's what I mostly tell people is, just go with somebody that you feel comfortable with because, trust is the foundation of the mortgage relationship. So you got to trust your mortgage broker.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, trust is the foundation of all relationships, right?
That is true.
Yeah, so even so with the mortgage broker, because this is a big transaction, right? And so much for me, like I want to be able to trust people that I'm referring my clients to, as well, right? So that I know that they
Absolutely.
will taken care of. So maybe we're segueing into the next question I'm going to ask you, which is, like, what are the benefits of working with a mortgage broker, and why should people because I think that's one of the questions people ask me a
Yeah.
lot. Like, when I say, "Hey, why don't you go see this mortgage broker?" Right? And they'll say,
Yeah.
"What's the difference?" Right? So, yeah, maybe tell us a little bit about that.
It's a big difference. It depends where you go. I mean, if you're comparing a mortgage broker to a bank representative, so you're usually just getting that one product,
Hmm.
whether it's a variable mortgage or a fixed mortgage. So they have that one product. Sometimes people feel comfortable going with their own bank, but are they really looking out for the best interest of the client? And that's the main reasons why mortgage brokers are here. We're occupying about 42% of the mortgage space, and it's just becoming increasingly bigger on North America. I don't know where they're at, but it's very, very popular down there. And it's just because, just like insurance agents, we're looking out for you, right? We work for the client. We want to make sure you're saving money, that you're educating yourself about not just buying a home and maintaining a mortgage, also other factors like closing costs and, referrals to appraisers, lawyers, real estate agents. So we become very involved in that transaction. And, through that, we gain that relationship, that trust, that confidence.
Hmm.
Um, we're easily accessible, so we don't really have like that 9 to 5. So if usually I try to answer within the hour, either email or text me or call me. If I don't answer, I'll get back to you. Um, what are the other reasons? There's quite a few.
Hmm.
Um, so because we work with so many different lenders, I think we work with 230. Obviously, I don't work with all
Hmm.
230 of them, but we do work with a great number. Um, and we have access to those lenders. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't get approved with the first or the second lender, even there's always that third, fourth, or fifth option. Hopefully not the fifth, but because we usually have a good idea, we usually talk to our business development managers who are very, very, very helpful, and we can always do a deal run if we're unsure that there's a couple of factors that may, um, that may negatively affect. So we just want to put that up front, and they're usually aware and they're very helpful in making sure that it's good to go basically with that lender. So once we send it through, it's the underwriter that's going to look at it and make sure that everything is good to go. And it's just very easy. Like I don't even talk to the clients about the process. It's just all you need to do is fill out an application, your documents, one, two, three, maybe four different documents, and we'll be speaking. And it's very easy. And sometimes they ask me for referrals or they have their own lawyer. It depends, but it does take that big team to work together as well, which makes it even better for everybody.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and mortgages have been the hot topic for the last
Sorry.
couple of. I said mortgages have been the hot topic for the last, I would
Yeah,
say, two
it
months,
always
because every
is.
time the
That's
Bank of
because
Canada.
That's because we've had the biggest hike in
Yeah,
30 years.
yeah.
So, most people that are buying homes, they're freaking out because they're, usually buy your home, I don't know, 30, 35. I'm not sure what that. average ages, maybe younger. So they never seen rates this high.
Yeah,
But if
no,
they go back to
absolutely.
1980,
Oh,
1990
geez, yeah.
even,
Let's not remind us.
I know, right? But it's just the way it is, right? I mean, we hit a huge recession. Everybody stopped working.
Yeah.
Nothing was happening for a long time, and
Yeah.
that
So
takes effect.
tell us, what the mortgage, the new hike in mortgage rates, like what is this changing rate? How is it affecting, um, what you're doing, and what are you seeing going on?
Yeah. So first thing
Yeah.
to remember, Bank of Canada makes these 8 different increases, or sorry, not different increases, different announcements, and some of them are monetary policy announcements. Okay, so it's got to do with the budget as well. But keep in mind that it is only affecting your variable mortgage. So if you have a fixed term mortgage, it does not apply to you. Okay. Although in some aspect it may, because fixed rates, although they're associated with the bond market, they also have that benchmark rate, and it depends what's going on in the really down south, worldwide, really. Um, with the Bank of Canada, um, they basically are bringing inflation down. It's at 6.7% as of July, and they need to bring it down to 2%. And I know a lot of people, are seeing, three, four, five increases, and they're really freaking out. Um, but at the same time, it's going to level out, right? So there's actually a very interesting article published by the Globe and Mail on September 16 of 2022. I just want to mention it because I thought it was interesting. So their title is "With Inflation, the Talk of the Town, the Bank of Canada refines its message." Okay. So in short, Tiff Macklem, who is the governor of Bank of Canada, made a speech virtually at the U.S. Federal Reserve annual Jackson Hole Symposium. And they're really focusing actually on going on social media to try to reach out to the public because they really want to boost that up. They have been doing it, but now they really want to boost it up. So they're saying that political populism was on the rise, undermining trust in central banks. A sea change in central bank communications was needed to build a deeper relationship between the central bank and its citizens. So the Bank of Canada is racing to shore up its credibility with Canadians in the face of the highest inflation since 1980. It's facing intense criticism from the new Conservative Party as well. And then it just goes on with 5 different hikes, over 3%. And they want to tell the public, though, that to read the monetary policy or try to get accustomed to receiving those that type of information. So, because what happens is individuals and businesses believe about a future inflation, and that could impact and have a significant impact, in fact, where it ends up. Because if you're going to calculate that inflation is still going to be at 7% in 5 years, and it's not, right? So what
Mm-hmm.
ends up happening is they may lay off people, they may not pay them, they
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
may not take in consideration inflation. So there's a lot of factors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're just trying to try to reach out a bit more to the public, and they want to answer their questions. They even have a hashtag that you can ask just any question really in regards to Bank of Canada rates.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely you know a topic of interest because I feel that um, some um, not everyone is knowledgeable, and not everyone, keeps on top of it, right?
Well, they didn't really
And
have to, right? For 30 years, it was pretty much, level here and there of, a couple percentage, but not this big hike, right?
yeah, but I'm not talking in general. Like, I'm just talking in general about people
Yeah.
and their money, right? Like, I'm not
Hmm.
talking about, understanding all of this other stuff. I'm just talking in general about people and their money and understanding it. Some are very good with it, and some of them, will look at everything and, want to understand, while some others are afraid. And, I think
Well, in order to
knowledge
combat
is
that
key,
is get
right?
the information, read the information, become serious about the
Yeah,
information. Because if you also come to me and you're not prepared, and I feel like you're not ready, I'm not able to give you a mortgage.
yeah, yeah.
Part of the process of having a mortgage is understanding its terms and conditions,
Yeah, yeah, no.
right?
I feel like there's so much education to be done, and honestly, it's
There's
so needed
there's a
too,
long way
right?
to go, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I feel like I just need to do, like, especially when like, I do a lot of work with, first-time home buyers, and I work a lot with, like, newcomers to Canada. So,
Yeah,
um, and I mean, I also do downsizing where, we're dealing with a lot of older crowd, but that's a little different, right? They've got kids that are maybe savvier that help them or something to that effect. But when you're dealing with someone who's new
it's
to
a
the
lot of
country,
work. Yeah,
or like young people who are just getting into the market, I
yeah,
want them to understand. I don't want them to be afraid. Like, I want them to know what they're getting into, right? And
yeah,
yeah, it takes a little bit extra work, but so what? Like, um,
yeah. I mean,
as long
it
as they
just
feel confident, right?
exactly. I tell my
Yeah.
clients, I mean, don't think of buying a house like you're gonna have a baby, even longer, really, because you're not going to buy a house or wanting to buy a house today and then actually buy a house in 1 month or 1 day. It's going to take a while. And a big part of that is educating yourself.
Yeah. So what advice would you give young people or anyone looking to buy a house? Not just young people. Just what advice would you give people looking to buy a house and get into the housing market?
Well, if you can get into the housing market, there's ways to help clients. We kind of like to think out of the box
Hmm.
as mortgage brokers. So if you come to me with a certain situation, I can ask, won't you have grandmother to have a aunt? Because sometimes in conversation they'll say, "Oh, my aunt or my father or this and that." So you could tell they have a good relationship. So sometimes there's like people that are willing to help you buy a property. I've even have cases where they're not family members, or putting that second unit in that basement, get some rental income. Like there's options, right? It's not one all be all. It's really just knowing what we can do with that application. And if it can't be done, let's talk in 3 months, 6 months. Let's put a time
Yeah.
frame, whether you got to work on your credit, whether you're putting down more on your down payment, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and that's why I think, sometimes people actually are, um, not, I don't want to say short-sighted, but almost, because it's almost where, it's almost this instant gratification. Everyone wants everything like now, today. And if they can't get it today, then okay, they're going to move on. But the reality is, I mean, rents are just as high. Like, someone who's going to rent that condo to you is going to cover the amount for the mortgage. I mean, in between my showings today, I showed a couple of rental units too, which I don't normally do, but they were people that, I'm working with to get, um, a mortgage, and they're not quite ready yet. So we had to show, and I'm actually, I was floored with some of these pricings. I think I would be homeless if I was looking to rent a place right now.
I
I
know
mean,
that
if I was
they're
looking, I think
getting a
I'd be
lot of
homeless.
contacts because I think of the rent,
Yeah,
but
it's
they're not
crazy.
prepared for the home right
Yeah,
now because there is a big education piece. So that's where we come in. We have to. You can't go from rental to buying a home overnight, right? So,
yeah,
um, yeah, so that's what I do. We work together. If it's their second house, they most likely know what to do, or they may need help. But
hmm,
if you're a first-time home buyer, yeah, it's a big education piece. Expect to have an education piece of at least, I would say, 6 months, honestly. depending on the person. Really. I mean,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
everybody's different. It could be less. It could be 3 months.
Yeah. So, yeah, and by the way, if you're watching and you have questions, feel free to pop it in the comment
Yeah,
section
for sure.
below,
We're here
or
to
there's
help
a
you.
little bit of a question mark section. It's like a little conversation icon with the question mark. Put it in one of those places. We are almost, at the end of the show. So if you do have questions, we're happy to answer them. If we don't get to them, we're happy to do a takeaway and get back to you with it.
Yeah,
Um,
and make sure you like it so your friends see, so we get
yeah,
more
yeah,
likes. Give us some
absolutely.
love.
Yes, absolutely. Always, always happy to get some love. Um, how would you help a first-time home buyer, um, in this sort of market, secure a mortgage? Like, what are some of the key things to look for or for them to be prepared for, to bring
Yeah,
along? I mean, virtually bring, whatever, bring to the
yeah,
table,
for
should I
sure.
say?
So the process is similar to any other client, but through conversations, we're going to be talking about things like closing costs and real estate agent fees and uh, property insurance and title insurance and maintaining a home, paying your property taxes, um, paying your bills, your utility bills, do not default on your mortgage payment, um, have a budget and stick to it. Have a 5% emergency savings from your income. So, we give this really great book. It's called The First Time Home Buyer's Guide. And basically, it talks about everything. Um, Also, in regards to mortgages, I think it's like 16 pages long, so it's not that long. But it talks about also what types of mortgages, because a lot of people are confused, like what's a fixed, what's a variable, but like how does a variable work, right? So that goes into depth and explains that part as well as other aspects of having a mortgage. So it's a really great book that I usually give to my clients that they can read, and then I follow up to make sure that they understand or if they have any questions that I can answer.
Yeah, so that's great. Natalie also has app that you can download. Um,
Yes, I have my wonderful app, which people love because everybody has their phone always, usually in their pocket, their hand. And it's free, and you can do a whole bunch of things with it. You can calculate your mortgage cost, you can search current rates, you can find out your closing cost, you can find out pretty much anything. There's
and
a
you can do
lot.
some calculations, the whole nine
Yeah.
yards. Like if you're looking at, you know, at different rates and you're trying to figure out.
There's even a refinance analyzer. So let's say
Mhm.
you're in a current mortgage and you're thinking like you want to switch over. You're probably not right now, but let's say if your mortgage rate was higher and you wanted to go lower, you can see, you can compare how much would it actually cost. It would take into effect your not just your mortgage rate, but also your penalty, what bank. So you can pick the bank, how, and they would calculate the amount of months because they would know when that mortgage is up for renewal.
Very cool.
Which, yeah,
So,
which is a great tool. I use that tool myself because if clients come to me, they usually don't know how much they're gonna pay, so I can use
mm,
that to give them usually usually a pretty good average of what it would be.
yeah, so I mean, we'll drop once I post the show, Natalie will drop the link in the comments section.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
definitely drop the
and so
link.
you
Yeah.
can definitely download the app if you'd like. Um, and we're coming to the end of it. I know we started a little late today, so we are like going a little bit in a different time zone, but we're going to try to wrap up so people can We appreciate the time you spend with us. We really do. And if you want to get on the show, you want to be interviewed, get in touch. I am booked till the end of the year, which is great.
Wow, that's
Yeah, I am.
awesome.
I am booked. I was
Are
booked
you
like,
booking me? Because we haven't talked.
yeah. No, I'm like, I got so booked this year. I just, I asked and people said yes. And so I have dates like booked right to the end of the year, which I'm so excited about. And it's also a
Did you leave any
podcast.
spots for me?
Always have spots for you. We'll do a double.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Always, always. But for all of you watching, my name is Jacqueline Watson. I'm a realtor with Sutton Group Tower in Toronto. And my guest today, Natalie. And you can follow Natalie, your Instagram handle again.
Mortgages Vieira, Mort as in Tom, Gages, V as in Victor, Ieira.
And
And I try to post stuff, but I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of like fun stuff that I see sometimes.
listen,
I just don't have the time.
it's not about fun stuff. I don't think I have any fun stuff. I have like great
You
stuff.
do.
I try.
I love seeing your stuff.
Well, sometimes,
Yeah, but follow us. Let's follow it. I want to follow you as well. And let's keep in touch. Call me, text me, whatever you prefer, even if you just have like a silly question or you're wondering if you have a good mortgage right now. You want to refinance your current mortgage, you want to buy something bigger, downsize. I'm here to help you figure out how much you will be able to qualify for.
Perfect.
Taking everything into consideration, okay? All your
After
debt,
you call her, you can
your
call
equity,
me too.
everything is calculated. What's that?
I said after they call you, they can call me too.
And then make sure you call Jacqueline Watson right after.
Just kidding. And then I'll call Darren. How is that, Darren? we like I said, we're here to build a community. I try to support all of you that connect with me any way I can. So thank you again this
And she
evening
is
for
like
joining us.
honestly
I do
the
try.
most hardworking person I have ever known. She's just like,
Thank you.
sometimes I think she's at 4 different places at once, like no lie.
We try. I wish I could clone myself, but anyhow, thank you so much again. I
Okay.
so appreciate your
It's great
time. Yes.
seeing you.
You
Thanks everybody for
too.
tuning
Take
in.
care.
We'll see you
Have a
next
good
time.
evening. Bye.
Bye.